Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the latest episode of Supernatural, Wayward Sisters. And this episode was okay. I always get into that when you try and use an existing show's episode to be a backdoor pilot into another thing. I believe that if you're going to do a pilot, just do a pilot for the show. It just muddies it up, and it kind of makes the flow really kind of screwbally for whatever show you're trying to introduce, as well as the show you're using as the vehicle to launch it from. Like in this one, you had to pretty much minimize Sam and Dean's role to such an extent so that way you could actually effectively set up what's going on. So this episode starts off, and it shows my biggest issues kind of with Claire, because we see this girl kind of being played with by these werewolves, and then she goes in pretty much guns blazing, no backup, and it looks like she hasn't done any recon really whatsoever. She just knows that they're werewolves, and that's about it. She goes in with a double-barrel shotgun. Now, I understand that double-barrel shotguns are kind of associated with hunters, but if you're a smart hunter, you do not go into a fight with a gun that you know only is going to hold 2 rounds and you're going to have to reload if you don't know how many combatants you're going for. So that's just like, okay, she doesn't think. She's still pretty much in the same spot that we left her when she was pretty much going to become a werewolf due to her own stupidity. So yeah, I mean, she's able to get through the fight, and interestingly enough, there is a third werewolf woman that she does have another gun on her to use, but she pretty much has her back turned, and throughout sheer, I'd say luck, but it's more plot, that she was able to get that other werewolf, in my opinion, because if this was any other hunter going in half-cocked like this, she would have been dead. That's kind of where it kind of gets iffy. When you see that the plot armor on things happens, that's a kind of no-no. Granted, Sam and Dean have their own plot armor. I will fully admit to that, but it's like, okay. So she rescues the girl, sets her off, and she gets a call from Jody, and she goes back home, and we learn the whole disappearance of Sam and Dean and all that, and how that's been kind of affecting the outside world. And we see throughout the rest of this episode that Claire is the main focus of the Wayward Sisters, which kinda irks me because I would have rather had it been more focused on Jody doing this, and Jody and Donna, rather than Claire, who's pretty much being billed as a very Dean character without any Sam to really kind of balance her out. At least at the moment. So, of course, she's ragging on Jody for trying to worry and protect her and everything, which, no matter how many times until you get to the end of the episode, you try and reason with her on this effect that Jody has lost her family and lost people that she's cared about and other hunters and friends and everything, that she's very protective of her family, just like Sam and Dean are. It's like, okay, come on, Claire. You can't be this dense on this, okay? But, of course, they're trying to figure out what to do next. That's, of course, getting Patience introduced. I had no problems with Patience and Alex. Alex being the kind of middle road, being like, okay, well, I gotta go to work, do my own thing. Alright. Patience going, well, I had a vision, and I came here to Jody, and, you die, Claire. So, we now get more information on that vision in that I thought when it was shown that it would have been Jody that was being taken out, but she'd come to warn Jody about Claire being killed, and of course, trying to get through that whole effect. So, they're trying to figure out how to pin down where Sam and Dean are and what's going on with that, and of course they get on the Kaya train trying to figure out, okay, is she here or anything? And of course, we see that the police have picked her up, and she's Jane Doe into a hospital. And which hospital is that? Oh, the one that Alex is working at. So, Claire is able to find her in there because she'd come to try and kind of reason with Alex and try and figure out what's going on, and wondering why Jody keeps worrying about her and leaving because she didn't want Jody to worry about her, even though Alex is going, oh, well, she's still worrying about you. Doing another the freaking Captain Obvious thing, just doing. So, of course, Kaya just wants to get out as soon as possible, and as she tries to escape, we find out that, of course, because of the doorway that is open to, like, the bad place, those weird, creepy kind of creatures who come, and as Kaya's trying to leave, one of them pops up, and I like that we have a new kind of creature monster thing to go on, but they really didn't do much to take it down. I mean, anything kind of different, didn't need any kind of special thing. They kind of shot at it and stabbed it, and it started to pretty much kill it. And calling what they've made a doorway is very generous because they are actively ripping holes in the fabric of space and time. I would like that concept to be explored more, but I know that's just going to be more of a vessel to essentially Dragon Ball this bitch and have all different kinds of universes and shit, kind of like what we got on Dragon Ball Super, so we'll have it as we will. So, of course, they're going, well, if these things came through, a lot more probably came through. So, they're doing an autopsy kind of thing on that thing's kind of freaky, which, I gotta admit, they did a real good job on the creature design with this thing. Really kind of different kind of creature that we haven't really seen on Supernatural before. It's just all kind of weird, kind of predator-like, kind of beak like an octopus kind of thing. It was like, okay, I can dig that. And so, of course, Patience has another vision of the rest of the pack kind of coming in because Kaya was giving them that kind of intel that they kind of hunt in packs, kind of opening up and having a kind of bonding moment with Claire, doing a kind of Scar kind of thing, and like, I got this. I'm like, oh, okay. Mainly, instead of proving how tough they are, well, it proves how tough Kaya is because she has no complete control over her dream walking, but with Claire, it's just more, I know it's meant to show her off as being tough and everything, but it more just shows her off being reckless and not thinking kind of character in how she handles these situations, especially since she mostly goes in by herself. Now, if that angle is being taken to try and, like, tamper it down in the series, we could have something. So, of course, they get that, and they try and go off. They meet up with Donna, who love. She's awesome. And she's the one that brings all the kind of goodies. She brings a flamethrower. And she asks if anybody would use it. I'm like, it needs to be centered on Jody and Donna. But we're getting kind of this whole kind of group ensemble, and I'm like, okay, Claire's being the kind of linchpin on this one, but I would think it would be better with Jody and Donna, kind of similar to how Sam and Dean anchor Supernatural and how you see other kind of shows, like Full Metal Alchemist is mainly anchored on Edward and Alphonse Elric. That's the same kind of thing that you kind of want to do, and I just think Claire is an ineffective anchor at this juncture. So, they pretty much plot together, and I say plot together because they somehow were able to figure out where the whole rift and everything is opening. It didn't seem very organic. It's like, the plot demands that they must get to this. Let's do it. So, of course, they go on off and they go to the rift. While this is going on, we do get bits and pieces of Sam and Dean. We see, there was a really funny moment where they had, like, caught this lizard and cooking it, and Dean's eating it, and he's like, hey, Sam, you know what this tastes like? He says, don't say it tastes like chicken. He's like, no, Sam, it's a lizard. It tastes like lizard. And they're like, oh, we hear something kind of big, we gotta get moving. And then Dean, of course, goes back for his food. Fuck that thing, I'm gonna get my food. So, of course, they kind of book it along, and they get captured by the hooded person that we had seen, pulling off some pretty good moves, by the way. They did a good choreographed fight with that, and making the joke that it was a kind of like Darth kind of person, and we're like, okay, that was good. So they're captured, and it rings the kind of dinner bell for that big creature to come and eat them. So we get back to our main group that we're going on the Supernatural side. We get Jody and Donna going, alright, I need you guys to stay here, because she knows that Claire will go in completely half-cocked no matter what. So Jody and Donna want to check out what's going on first. So of course they get up, they see what's going in. Jody says that she's going to go in because she knows Claire's going to be the one that wants to go in after them. But of course they start hearing noises and there's the whole pack and everything around. And they're kind of like stuck at the moment. And then who comes in? Claire and the rest of them. But Claire's using the flamethrower. I like that kind of Chekhov's gun kind of thing. If you say something, like if you're going to say something about a flamethrower or a grenade launcher, use it. But this also then keeps going with the effect of Claire not really thinking. Because if you're using a flamethrower, you kind of want to know if they're going to be getting close to you. They don't know exactly the complete makeup of these things if they have long-range attacks. So you could be going in and you're like, oh, okay, well, it was just, alright, cool moment, but of course they saved him. They see the glowing thing, we see the rest of them kind of like gearing up. Claire and Kaya go into the rift to go after Sam and Dean, and the rest of them kind of hold off and try and bunker down. I liked the character development that was going on with Alex and with Patience. Patience, look, I've never shot a gun before, I've never shot a monster before, and seeing her kind of deal with that situation was really kind of cool. I really liked the stuff that there was going on with her character. And Alex just being that kind of rock support, showing a kind of Sam-like ability to kind of handle the situation that's going on around her. So, of course, Claire and Kaya get in, save Sam and Dean. They're about to get to the portal, but of course, Dark Ninja Woman comes and throws her spear, and instead of hitting Claire, like it was kind of shown, it hits and kills Kaya. And I hate this, that this is it's usually the trend in any show. If you get halfway decent character development, they're gonna kill you off. And that's kind of what happened with Kaya. Now granted, it wasn't the greatest amount of character development. I'm like, okay, we've seen her go from this person who doesn't want to help anybody, who wants to run away from her powers and all that, kind of accept her responsibility and try and help Sam and Dean out of the situation that she was a part of and trying to help them. So, wow, okay, and then she does. You gotta balance that payoff. You gotta get to that point where it will do the maximum amount. Otherwise, you just have this little character development. Oh, okay, I can understand where this character is. Oh, alright, so not invest in anybody. Okay, alright. Of course, this is more used as impetus for Claire because Sam, Dean, and her get out, and she's very affected by Kaya's death. I don't know why, because they spent like only a couple days together. I mean, her being sad, yeah, but she's like breaking down, and like, but Patience is seeing that. Oh, okay. Even though this was my vision, she's not dead. No, that. Oh, okay. So of course, everybody kind of works around. We see that the kind of setup is that they're going to take care of Sioux Falls and deal with any kind of remnants that are coming out of, that had come out of that portal. And of course, Sam and Dean then just kind of go off on their own, and we have Claire kind of doing her own monologue, being like, yeah, I kind of need them and all that, and they're my army. And I was like, they're your army? What? Why are they your army? How are you the leader of anything? If anything, seniority for like Jody and Donna are like first dibs. And then, honestly, how many of the other people have almost been turned into werewolves or any kind of other creature due to their own lack of planning, foresight, and actually working as a team player? She doesn't work well as a team player, pretty much. It's, if they can get through that, okay, cool, character development, but I would just want better writing for her, because at the moment, her flaws are just kind of too much. You kind of want to balance it out. Now, granted, I've never really felt that strongly about her character one way or another until they've started trying to do something with her. And I just think it can be better handled, and I hope that it could be better handled with the Wayward Sisters series that they're going to be doing. But I don't know. And I don't know how much it can do, how well it can do by itself, because in the beginning, it's going to have to rely on getting the feedback from Supernatural, and we honestly don't know how much longer Supernatural is going to be going itself. So we'll kind of have to see. And I don't know, I just don't get a good feeling. I'm going to reserve judgment, but at this beginning kind of point, I just want them to be able to write a good show, and if it doesn't work out, I still want these characters integrated into Supernatural. I don't want that to be a reflection completely on, especially Jodie and Donna. They're some of my favorite characters in Supernatural because of what they've done and how they have grown those characters. And I know that characters like Patience and Alex can similarly be grown, and if they work well with Claire, she could be a good one as well. It just means take your time and do good writing. I hope that just gets through, and make sure that you can hide plot armor and make it so that the plot doesn't show through as much as it has in this episode in trying to set it up. It always happens in a backdoor pilot and other pilots. I understand that fact, but it's a worrying kind of sign. So this also sets up at the end that we see another portal opens up, and the Darth Ninja Woman pops out. And who is it? An alternate reality version of Kai. So that's pretty much why we lost our version of Kai, I guess. And I'm assuming that she's going to be the big bad. I don't know how I feel about that. I kind of rather would have taken a kind of stripped down more kind of approach, almost a la Supernatural Season 1 with Jodie and Donna mentoring them, rather than, okay, and introduce their own kind of version of Yellow Eyes. Now, granted, this alternate Kai could potentially be that, but I'm not getting that feeling at the moment. But we need to see where the series goes. So, those are my opinions on the episode. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.